Another important thing that we should pay attention to would be what were the main themes which arose in the interview. So we need to start thinking about the main ideas that you can actually get from the data that you have collected. All right, you need to start it from now on. Do not wait until you get all the data in hand and start to organize your data. You need to make it well organized from the very beginning, starting from the first interview. Transcribe it and try to examine the data that you get. What did you actually learn from the first interview? After that, you may have more ideas to move on to the second interview. So you may feel more confident, and you move on to the second interview, and then after you finish the second interview, you can do the same thing. If you After you finish interviewing all the 10 people or so that you have already that you've selected, and then you could see that there are numbers of themes that you come up with, so in other words, don't wait until you have already collected the data. So did an issue arise which needs to be added to the interview schedule for next time? And the last but not least is it's good to think about whether the interviewee is willing to be contacted again. All right. So have I promised? So if you promised the interviewee to send any information or whatever, then you need to keep this promise. You cannot just make a promise. So if you just make a promise and then you do not do what you promised, and the people will have a very bad impression on you, as well as or even the future researchers. So this is something that I just would like to share with you, and these kinds of questions should also be used with a focus group discussion or focus group interview. There should be a form as well, but in the focus group, because why is focus group? Because it's a group of people, all right, with similar interests, with the similar experience, work coming together in order to share, in order to answer the question. But in the focus group discussion or focus group interview, there should be a moderator, or there should be a facilitator in order to ask questions, in order to to make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity to express their ideas and whatever. So and I think you could see that there is a numbers of questions, and the questions are not that different from the questions that the question here that I showed you here on your right, on your left hand side. So they are somehow the same. Okay, and this is for those who use qualitative. All right, and another important methods that the people use is observation. And you need to know that if you use observation as a method of data collection, when you want to observe, in order to get a rich data out of the observation, then you need to make sure that your observation is purposeful, is systematic, and is selective. So which means that you need to know why you are conducting this observation, and the observation needs to be done systematically. So which means that there is a process of observing. What are you going to observe first, second, third, what you're going to do? Okay, and selective, which means that you need to know exactly what you really want to observe. So then we have the step. Okay, I want to observe this, for example. So you also need to have a tool. For example, if you want to observe, if you go to a class, what do you really want to observe? Are you going to observe the students, or are you going to observe the teachers? All right. If you're going to observe the teachers, do you have a observation form in order to note what you really want to know about the teacher? Okay, his teaching methods, or how he managed a classroom, he monitored the class and whatever. So And we remember that in the observation, you can, it could be a participant observation, a non-participant observation. A non-participant observation is a kind of observation that is conducted when the researcher himself, it is not involved in the activity. So, which means that the researcher will sit at the back of the class or at, somewhere looking at what is going on, what, and then it try to take note everything that it can see. Um, but for participant observation, the researcher himself is involved in the activities, try to act. For example, if you really want to know, if you really want to know about, the group discussion, the student group discussion, you can just get into the group and try to discuss, you know, uh, as if you were the student, in the group or something like that. So this is what we call a participant observation. All right. So whatever you do, okay, so this is something to do with a collecting the data using qualitative approach. And these are the two main methods that are commonly used in qualitative approach. And whatever you do in the data collection, make sure that your data collection is conducted in a professional and ethical manner, in the sense that you have an consent, okay, to make sure that you have an informed consent form. You request the permission, you get an agreement from your research participant. Okay, make sure that you are not forcing people to answer the questions or whatever. So, and you also ensure or keep, the confidentialities of your research participants. So these are the things, and I think that you have already learned this in your research course. I don't want to talk much about it. So this is something that I would like to share with you, and I think it's something. It may be something that that was not delivered in the class in the course. So this just to give you some ideas.